projects.
Time now for our next guest.
Communism, anarchy, war, Satanism, neighbours, hippies. All serious issues facing humanity until these blokes got stuck into them.
Go be the bowling hippie. Kylie and Jason, let's play Freemasons. I'll chase you around the house while you wear silly aprons. Punk's not dead, they're just boring old farts.
Busking on the streets of Canberra in the mid-80s, three talented friends saw the lighter side of world problems, and DAAS was born. Or
The Doug Anthony All-Stars.
appearing on the big gig in their own show, Das Kapital.
Back to the womb, back to the womb, back to the womb.
Tim Ferguson, Richard Feidler and Paul McDermott were an enormous success both here and abroad. After parting ways in 1994, Paul hosted Good News Week
And that's the good news.
and has gone on to become a talented artist, filmmaker and actor.
No dough, no show.
Fans have since been praying for a reunion, and the comedy gods, well, Paul, Tim and their mentor Flacco, have answered them as the Doug Anthony All-Stars are on the road again.
Please welcome him to the show, Paul McDermott.
I feel the love. Feel the love in the room. Did you feel the energy change in the room there, Michelle?
I did. It got real sexy. Did you feel that?
There's a power. There's still a power. Geriatric power.
Don't worry
No, I
about it.
felt that. I thought I felt the power change, but that was me on my leg. That's fine. It's fine. Move on.
I'm so glad you are back and touring again, because you guys are maybe the most influential act Australian comedy has ever seen. In fact, I myself, I think now, was actually impersonating you for the first 10 years of stand-up that I did. I was sort of doing you in drag, in a funny way.
I've done myself.
I would love to see that.
So now you've got your own act back. That's great.
Oh, it's beautiful being back with the boys again. It's great. Tim's just a joy to be around, and Paul Livingston, or Flacco,
Yep.
brings a whole new dimension of bizarre, surrealist wonder to the show. So.
What brought you back together?
Well, we did the ABC did a DVD release last year, so we got together for that, to launch that, and there was just such a wonderful camaraderie on stage that we thought we'd just keep it going.
And are you wearing your uniforms, those jackets you wore on the big gig?
Costumes.
Not uniforms. Uniforms.
Sounds fascistic, doesn't it? They're just costumes.
Do you wear those during the new shows?
Oh, no, thankfully we gave those to the Victoria Museum of the Arts,
really?
a long time ago, on the proviso that they would never wash them, because one of the defining aspects of the group was we never ever washed our costumes, so they had a rank and rancid odour that could induce vomiting in other performers, and it was a good trick we learnt in pubs in the early days in Australia. So we gave it to them on the proviso that they never washed them, so they would be hideous now.
You're really testing the determination of your group.
The reason was because Australian pubs are always very aggressive, but we found that if people were heckling us or being rude to us, all I had to do was wade out into the audience, get someone's head, put it under my shoulder, under my arm, just hold them there, no matter how big they were, no matter how tough they were, within about 15 seconds, they would stop moving.
Now, I believe we've got some footage of some of your audience members who maybe are not as fashion-forward and trendy as you guys. Take a quick look at this.
Oh, shut up. I'm probably one of them.
What do you mean? That's all back.
That's fine.
Midriffs, they're like Tommy.
Yeah, but what they're not telling you is that's now. That's not back in the day.
Oh man, you should see them now. That was their moment. That was the top of their pyramid in regards to beauty and fashion.
I was going to say, who's in the audience? Is it people, you know, like Michelle, who grew up kind of loving you and have just kind of gone along the whole journey with you?
I think your parents were there.
Yeah. I think that was actually how I got here.
Sexual,
Oh,
the
yeah,
sexual
yeah, the
energy.
tension, yeah.
Yeah, speaking of the sexual tension, where's Richard?
Oh, yes, it does.
Yeah.
He's got a job.
He does.
Yeah, so he hasn't joined us, which
He's
is
on the
wonderful.
ABC now. Is he up himself?
You put me in a curious position.
Yeah.
I don't know how to respond to that. He's a wonderful broadcaster now, and he's talking to a lot of very, very old people, which is great. He's found his niche.
And how's the wonderful Tim Ferguson going? He's obviously got MS. We've spoken about it on the show before. How's he doing?
Oh, he's on stage. It's wonderful. He's an extraordinary performer, and hasn't. If anything, he's funnier now because of the extraordinary range of experimental drugs he's got kicking through his system. There's a chemical hilarity that he's achieved through the drugs. So on stage it's wonderful, but actually getting him to and from a gig is really it's quite arduous and tricky. And you know, it's an incredible amount of energy that he, on stage. So he's quite tired sometimes at the end of the night.
Gee, it's been wonderful for your social media, though. I mean, you tweet and Instagram some very off-colour jokes about it.
The show delves into that area. You were mentioning before the uncle that's embarrassing at the Christmas parties.
Yeah.
That's the three of us.
Well, the Doug Anthony All-Stars Live gig continues around the country. You can see more of that. Head to our website for all the details. Would you please thank Paul McDermott?